Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a few weeks, but I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. And here we are kicking off the new year. I know I'm a little late to the game, but that's real life. So, but we had a wonderful Christmas. We traveled and visited with family, and yeah, we had a really good Christmas season. But I have been itching to kind of get into the groove of some things. And with that includes some decluttering, but I also have some baking I want to do, and I need to make some elderberry syrup. Kind of late to the game on that too, but we're going to try to do all that today. But I had some decluttering that I really wanted to do before Christmas, and I was just like, just wait. I had a place to put all the stuff. So we're going to do that. I'm going to start off with fall and Christmas decor, but I want to look at the stuff that I didn't gravitate towards this year and get rid of the stuff that I don't need to keep. And then I have just overall home decor. So right now, that is kind of my biggest goal. Our guest rooms need some attention, and right now they house a lot of that stuff. So I'm gonna start off with that and then move to the kitchen maybe. But yeah, hi and welcome. Let's get started. All right, so this looks probably crazier than it is, but these garbage cans are actually what I house my Christmas tree in. And I have not taken out my Christmas tree at the time of filming this, but I divide them up into these garbage cans. They're clean. I mean, I bought them just for this, and cover them with a garbage bag because the garbage or the Christmas tree bags to me are so awkward because they flop all over, and I wanted something that was a little bit more structured. So that's what this is for. So I can put these back in the closet. These black bags are moving blankets, so I don't have to go through any of this stuff. This is my fall stuff, which I pretty much did go through, but I'm gonna go through it again and make sure I'm only keeping stuff I love. So my trick for decluttering is, this has been my catch-all room, so there's a lot of stuff in here, but that's why we're doing this. My rule with decluttering is like, if I can make the decision quickly. If I can't, I don't wanna slow down and get hung up on it. I can always go through it again another time and get rid of more stuff. So if I don't love it, or it doesn't have some type of special meaning for me, I'm just gonna get rid of it. So that's what I'm just gonna go through these really quick, make sure I got rid of everything that I don't want. All right, so here is my fall stuff. These are pretty small bins. I switched to smaller bins a few years ago. And I just need to find something to put these longer stems in, but not bad. And they're not even all full. And then here is what I'm getting rid of. I already got rid of a bunch at fall time, but these are gonna all go in my donate pile as well. I need to kind of make up our guest bedroom here, but I have this beautiful shelf that I got from my parents. My dad made this a long time ago. This was in my home growing up, and my parents were downsizing. So this is the top. And I was like, yes, I want what dad made. So I just don't know where I'm going to put it yet. I don't know that I have a spot for it downstairs. So it may end up going upstairs, although I'd prefer it kind of, downstairs, but I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So Christmas is a little bit more chaotic. Here's just some Christmas bins. And in here in the closet, and as I was coming up looking for stuff, decorating, I kind of left things a mess. And I still have to put away my Christmas decor, but I decided before I did that, I might as well go through my bins and organize. That way I can easily put that stuff away. And yeah, so that is what we're gonna do. But I have some things even that I picked up like on clearance. I picked up some new lights. I always try to pick those things up at the end of the year if I can. So yeah, now I need to kind of, I might just do it in here. I don't know if I'm going to pull everything out of the closet. This is where all of my decor needs to be stored. So there is a spot to put it. I just need to, make it happen. There's a lot of Christmas stuff I did not use this year, partially due to me getting a late start, and also my house just not really being fully settled since we moved a year ago. So there's stuff I didn't use that I am going to keep because I like it, and I don't want to just replace it next year. But if I go through another year and don't use it, then I probably will get rid of it. So I'm gonna keep some extra stuff this year that I normally would get rid of, just in case, because I didn't feel fully settled this year, so I don't feel like it was a good representation. Plus, you know, what you have room for changes based on the house you're in, and I'm not like looking to move all of the time, but I don't know that we're gonna be where we are forever. So if there's something that I really love and means a lot to me, I'm gonna keep it, because it doesn't mean I won't ever have a spot for it again. So I'm like somewhere in between, like for certain things, I'm like sentimental. I also don't like to just spend money. So if I can save it and, you know, use it at a later date, that's great. But then I also sometimes want to be a ruthless minimalist. So it's this like internal conflict inside of me. I guess we'll start here. For instance, these trees didn't have a spot for them. I mean, or didn't put them out. But I like them, they're basic, they're gonna go no matter what year it is, all the different styles, I'm keeping these. And I know after Christmas, it's not always fun to go through your Christmas stuff, but it's like, I don't wanna do it when I'm decorating. So I figure if I just do it now, then next year, it'll be a lot easier. Okay, these ones have to stay in here. So now I have this one for my fall florals. I even have room to spare, which is good because I think I have some still in the other room. All right, it is now the next day. So I got on a roll yesterday. I actually decided to just go ahead and take down my Christmas decor so I could finish putting all of those bins away and just kind of see what I was working with. I got rid of quite a bit, or I haven't done anything with it yet, but it's in my donate pile. And I still have some work to do in my guest rooms. That'll be for a later day, but this was the first step. And so I was just like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take down my Christmas decor. I'm never one who's really in a hurry to take it down. It just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. So the mood struck and I got on a roll, but then I was like, no time for the kitchen. My back was hurting. I heated up some leftovers and sat down with a heating pad on my back. But I'm feeling good. So we are back in the kitchen and we're going to go ahead and get started on those things that I had talked about. All right, I'm gonna get started on the elderberry syrup. I have some dried elderberries and I just stored them in the freezer. These are left over from another year. I'll have the recipe linked below. It does give instructions for dried elderberries versus fresh. It gives, like for the spices, dried versus fresh. And I'm also doing half of the recipe, I think. Let's see how much of the dried berries I have. I have pretty close to 2 cups, which is half the recipe. I'm gonna add in 4 cups of water. I'm gonna get this going at medium to low heat. I'm gonna use a combination of fresh and dried based on what I have. So that is a half a teaspoon of ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, and then 1 cinnamon stick. And what we want to do is bring this up to a low simmer, and you want the liquid to reduce by half. So I'm gonna get going on the muffins and just keep an eye on this. I've got this 1 stick of unsalted butter that has been out on the counter getting softened, but I want to melt it, so I'm gonna put it in the microwave at like power 3, melt it, and then you want to let it cool a little bit. So we're gonna do that. All right, we're gonna get started with 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. This is my homemade vanilla. It's about time for me to get my fresh batch. That wasn't quite a teaspoon. Plus I like extra, so. Yeah, it was probably more like 2 teaspoons. And then our melted butter that is slightly cooled. Trying to use up some things in my freezer that have been there a while, and the elderberry syrup I just needed, you know, I want to make that for the for this season. My husband's been fighting a head cold and I have steered clear of it, but I'm gonna try to keep it that way. And then the berries have been in my freezer for a while, and I'm just not doing like smoothies and yogurt parfaits, you know, this time of year, so I thought this would be a good way to use them up. I need to add 2 eggs. Let me know what kind of baking are you doing this time of year, if any. Is it breads? Is it cookies? Muffins? Then of course there's like meal baking, you know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to these muffins. I feel like I've made them before. I kind of do different berries depending on what I've got. Today's gonna be mostly blueberry with a little bit of strawberry. And now we're gonna add in 1 cup of milk. I use almond milk just because that's what I tend to have on hand. I'm gonna be careful to not slosh this over the edges, but you do wanna work this till it's all combined, and it's gonna be pretty liquidy still. All right, we're gonna mix together our dry ingredients. I have flour that was also in the freezer because I bought a couple bags, and it was, oh, there must be a measuring spoon in here or something. Yes, I left a spoon in here. The dates were not that far out, surprisingly, and normally I check that. And so I just put it in the freezer to make it last longer. So looking forward to using that up out of the freezer too. Need 2.5 cups of flour. I forgot to preheat the oven. You want to preheat it to 425. To our flour, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now I'm just going to mix that together with a fork. I'm gonna add about half of the flour mixture, and then we'll mix it till it's mostly combined. Then we'll add the other half. Go gentle, because it's pretty liquidy here. Once you get to this part, do not overmix. Just get it until the flour is mixed in, but it's gonna be a little clumpy. Just gonna scrape off some loose flour that's on my spatula. I'm gonna get my freezers. I'm gonna get my berries from the freezer. It said that if you had any fruit that needed to be cut up to thaw, this recipe is specifically for frozen berries, to thaw it slightly, to cut it up and then put it back in the freezer. So that's what I did. There's some strawberries at the bottom here, and then I did blueberries for the rest. But you want them in the freezer right up until this point here. Just gonna fold those in. Now let's fill our muffin cups. I've got mine lined with those silicone liners, but that's just because that's what I have. All right, I don't have the fun little baking sugar to sprinkle on top, but I am still gonna sprinkle
some sugar, just some regular granulated sugar. I should get some of that. I did get some of that flaky sea salt for recipes. I should get some of that. I think it's like crystal sugar or something. I don't know. We're gonna put this in the oven at 425 for 5 minutes and then drop the temperature to 375 for another 20 to 25 minutes. This is how much it has reduced already. Still a little ways to go. All right, I think this is reduced enough. So we are going to take it off the heat and let it cool just slightly. All right, I've let this cool a little bit. We are going to strain in this mesh strainer. Just be careful with splatter. The berries, like any berry, will stain. So if it gets on like your counter, clean it up fairly quickly. I'm going to rinse this out rather than scrape out each little berry because we are going to put it back in here, I think. The directions do say that, but I don't know that that's necessary. So we just want to press this out and get all of the juice out possible. Now we're going to add in about a cup or more of honey. The recipe did say to put it back in the saucepan, but it didn't say to turn the saucepan on, so I'm just going to do this in here. Again, the measurements are, the recipe is in the description box. There's some tips and stuff like that in there, so I would say just, read that. Better quality honey is great because it's not just a sweetener. It is also a... like the benefits, the health benefits of it. So if you have that, that's even better. I just obviously didn't measure that. I just eyeballed it. But yeah, just combine the honey and then you can store this in the fridge. It does say something about adding like liquor, a little, like a dash of liquor, and that'll help preserve it longer, but it's good in the fridge for 3 months without that. So we're just gonna mix until this is all dissolved, and then you can store it in a jar in the fridge, and it's good for up to like 3 months. I didn't have quite the right size jars, but I put most of it in here, put some of it, the elderberry syrup, in another jar, and I'm gonna pop this in the fridge. And I already took mine for today. If you hear something in the background, I have the dishwasher running, my kitchen is all cleaned up, and now I'm gonna sit down and enjoy one of these beautiful muffins and a hot cup of tea. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I hope that you consider subscribing if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.